Mics are live. This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. Because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
I love doing this with you every day. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins on a Thursday, the day after Garbage Day. Today, here in the CZ Studios, powerful. The Platinum, I always call it, the powerful Platinum Patriot Mobile microphone here at the Patriot Mobile Command Center. Lit up for you. The on-air lights are flashing, and lo and behold, it's all brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Greg in Dallas, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, rubbing my belly after fighting off a food coma. So
you're fighting off a food coma because Greg was eating Fratelli's pizza today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to the Dallas area or been to the Dallas area and never had Fratelli's pizza, let me give it a shout. It's good. My favorite pizza of all time is Marion's in and around the Dayton, Ohio area. And Fratelli's and Marion's are very similar in style, and boy, they're good.
If a brick oven fired and fresh toppings and lots of toppings at that, then they're usually really, really good.
Yeah, and Marion's does the dusting of the corn thing underneath it, salted corn. Oh, good heavens. Yeah. But it's hard to tell if I'm eating each one individually. It's whatever one I'm eating at the time is my favorite.
It's the best either way.
But I have to stick with Marion's only because I have more experience with that, with lots of family up in Dayton, Ohio, and very good friends, and you know who you are, that come to Atlanta for NRA conventions that brought me a couple pizzas. My God, I love you guys. Thanks for that. You know who you are. Anyway, Greg, let me thank Andy Hoosier, the voice of reason, for jumping in with me, for me yesterday, sitting in at the last moment. I do appreciate that. Had some things at the ranch that needed to be done and taken care of. I got a truck in the shop, and it's been a nightmare, but it's all done. Wouldn't you know it's ready? Yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My poor kid been juggling around with an extra car. It's been kind of a hassle, but and wouldn't you know, it's ready to roll, and we can't go get it today. We can't pick it up till tomorrow morning because he's at work, she's at work, I'm at work, everybody's at work.
It's the way it works.
It's just the way it works. So, hey, guys, we are live for you on Facebook, facebook.com/Armed American Radio, and you can participate over there. We appreciate it very much. Please follow us. If you don't already, please do so. Subscribe to the Armed American Radio podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode of this live national radio broadcast. Greg, I'll let you do your thing, and then you and I are going to spend some time taking a deep dive into Virginia, and it's very scary. We could do 3 hours on this. We only have an hour, but if you live in Virginia, boy, yeah. Greg, take it away, and we'll get started.
Sure, the places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, that'll do it. So I know I did not listen to yesterday's show. I have the podcast up, but I did talk with Andy, and I know you guys talked election results yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did cover it.
All right, we're going to go into a little bit deeper dive into Virginia today. The 2025 election results and the way forward. This was from a Virginia alert from VCDL. Now, VCDL, guys, is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, pro-gun rights organizations, grassroots groups in the country, and they are dead on hardcore. They're very good. Over 11,000 members in Virginia right now, but you know what? It wasn't enough, Greg.
Nope.
It was not enough in Virginia, and there's a lot of dynamic in play as to what happened in Virginia. First of all, let's get this out of the way. When the Democrats are screaming mad happy and the media is screaming mad happy that blue states vote blue, to me, that just shows you what a mess the party is. The Democrats won where, quite frankly, we expected them to win. Now, some unexpected deals in Virginia, of course. Apparently, Democrats don't mind guys like Jones threatening to murder the families and their opponents, etc., their political opponents. Apparently, that's okay with Virginia Democrats. That says an awful lot, but that's a topic for another show. That's scary stuff, though, Greg, in Dallas, Texas. It truly is.
Yeah, it's not that they're not condoning it. So they're not rebuking these statements by this
Therefore,
guy,
they
so
condone those statements.
that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So having said that, like I said, that's a topic for another show. Maybe we'll go into some of that on Sunday. I don't know. But guys, if you're not, you don't have to live in Virginia to be a member of VCDL, by the way. It's only $25 a year to join. And I would highly recommend that you help Virginia out here. Are you throwing good money at bad? No, you're not. But we're going to take a dive into this. Let's start right now. This is, again, from the VCDL, and you can get this from your own mail. You can go to their website. We'll give you all that information in just a little bit. And you can sign up for the email alerts, and I read every single one of these. I've been getting them for years. As VCDL warned in alerts before the election, if the election goes wrong, we could be back in 2019, 2021 all over again. And Greg, you remember covering Virginia back in COVID era. Mm-hmm. And the problems that we had in Virginia. You go back all the way to the former Democrats running that place, and it was a mess. And Virginia's got these weird off-year elections, right?
Yeah.
Gun controllers and here's what happened in 2019 and 2021. You had gun grabbers controlling the governor's office, the House, and the Senate. And also controlling the lieutenant governor's office and the AG's office.
Well,
here we are. Exact same configuration as 2019 and 2020 through 2021. And according to VCDL, and it's hard to argue this point, but in 2025, it appears that it was just sheer hatred of President Donald Trump's policies that drove Democrats out in what I guess could be considered record numbers. I don't know if they were record numbers in Virginia or not, but there were enough of them to go to the polls in large numbers because of sheer hatred of Donald Trump. And Republican voters, when you combine that with Republican voters underperforming in both of those election years, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that contributes to it. And the blind hatred of Trump, we're going to see this, guys. Get used to this. You're going to see Democrats come out in droves, particularly in the midterms. And the Republicans have to have a great message. It's that simple. And I'm getting ahead of my skis here because you see how we could go off in a lot of different directions here. But the Attorney General candidate, who not only displayed very poor judgment, including, quoting from VCDL, extreme reckless driving and wishing death on a Republican Speaker of the House and his children, Jay Jones certainly can't speak from any kind of moral high ground as the AG. How'd you like to have this guy as your AG, Craig?
I'm thankful I'm in Texas. No, not at all.
Would you trust him if he knew your political persuasion?
Not at all.
Of course not. So a little bit less than half the state of Virginia can't trust this guy. He's never done the job before. He's already called for his political opponent's murder. The new governor, Spanberger, wouldn't decry his statements, refused to, and it wasn't enough.
And she's a lunatic from the COVID era. She was running around with a bag over her head and a little ventilator.
I mean, this is crazy stuff, and I hate this for Virginia. I have a long history in that state. I lived there in various areas in that state for many years. I have a sister that lives up there, up in the Northern Virginia area, which is just blue as it can get. But when I look around the country and I see some of these areas, these are all blue areas. You know, NPR's out talking about how Democrats did what they did in Atlanta and they're Democrat-run cities. What did you expect? Okay, there's no shock there. Democrats get elected in Atlanta. Democrats get elected in cities across Pennsylvania. And come on, guys. When you see what how they're, particularly CBS, is just going nuts. Reports are out now that all of the mainstream outlets have been touting the Democrats throughout the process. And you would expect there's nothing new here to be seen. Nothing here shocks me. I just happen to dislike the results, particularly in Virginia. Now, what's getting ready to happen in that state? That's what we're going to talk about over the course of the next few segments on the program, now that they are back in firm control. And I believe they picked up 18 seats in the House of Delegates, Greg, in Virginia. I'm not 100% certain. They have solid control in the House of Delegates, and they maintain a one seat majority in the Virginia Senate. What does that mean? When they control every major lever of power in Virginia, that means they're going to do whatever they want to do to your gun rights, folks. That's what's getting ready to happen. And as a lot of people in Virginia say, south of the Mason-Dixon line, that's what's fixing to happen. So we're going to talk about what it is they're going to do when, as VCDL calls it, when the Dems go hog wild in 2026. What are we looking at in the state of Virginia? Now, it doesn't matter to me if you live in Virginia. I don't live in Virginia either. But this is the petri dish. This here is what we have to pay attention to for what the Democrats want across the country. They've elected a communist in New York City, which was expected. And there, as VCDL points out, all this new Democrat power concentrated in Virginia, they are going to go, quote unquote, hog wild in 2026. What is that going to look like? We'll go through some of it when we come back. It's not a good picture, I can promise you that. We'll be right back after this to talk about it. Back at you guys. following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Holding up a Patriot Mobile phone here if you're watching on your devices, and I don't have it turned on, but here it is right here, Patriot Mobile phone. It feels good to turn the phones off once in a while, Greg. You know that? It really does.
Oh, yeah, I do it a lot.
Bye-bye, because I've got more than one phone, too. But nonetheless, patriotmobile.com/AAR, ladies and gentlemen, and take advantage of all the great opportunities that Patriot Mobile affords you. Number one being their support for your right to keep and bear arms, which is huge. It's part of their platform as a corporation. It's part of their gig. It's who they are. It's what they do. And they put their money behind it. And if you've seen any of the Jason Aldean ads on Fox or any place else, they are the real deal. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Very proud to be working with them. We love them and we love their employees. So visit them, won't you please? You can find them at armedamericanradio.com. And when you move a phone over or all of your phones over, however you decide to do it, it's easy. They'll tell you how to do it. It takes just a few minutes. Keep your number, all that fun stuff. You get some great discounts. You're going to get a free month as well. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Let's go back to Virginia because this is really fascinating stuff and scary stuff. But you can't ignore it. It is what it is. It's just that simple. And as I mentioned, I quoted Virginia Citizens Defense League. The Democrats are going to go hog wild in the General Assembly, and they're going to. There's no question about it. So what you're getting ready to see in Virginia is what they want for you at the federal level. They will defy, Greg, Supreme Court. They won't care about Bruin. They won't care about Heller. They won't care about McDonald. Any subsequent decisions that come out, they don't care. They're going to do what they do. And they're going to pass all kinds of gun controls into law in the state of Virginia. That's going to happen.
It'll have to be legislated out, in the courts. But, I wish Republicans had this gall. But we've got a bunch of weak Republicans that are doing jack squat down in Congress and in the Senate, and they're not writing legislation. They're not getting any kind of legislation passed in the House outside of a Joe Biden's clean CR. Like, how are we even on Biden's budget still?
We can't get our house in order in D.C.
Johnson and
you can't even open the government, okay? And I'm not
terrible.
Trump's out talking about Nixon, getting rid of the filibuster. No.
Yeah.
Big mistake. That'll come back to bite you. That will come back to bite you. Because at some point in time, Democrats are going to run the ship again. And when they do, that's the last thing you want, because what you're getting ready to hear here, they'll be able to do in the Senate whenever they want. Because they will do it. They do not care, ladies and gentlemen, about the law. They do not care about the Constitution. They do not care about the Supreme Court. They hate the Supreme Court. They're not going to pay any attention to it. It doesn't matter to me. I don't like the decision, so ignore it. So what are we looking at? It's going to be an exact mirror of what happened in Virginia between 2019 and 2021, predominantly what happened in 2020 and 2021. So here's what you're going to see. For starters, according to VCD, for starters, you will see an assault weapon ban. That will move. Greg, care to make any prediction on that?
Well, I think it passes in Virginia, but it dies in the Supreme Court.
Well,
but the thing is,
they haven't taken the case yet. We need them to, and this is why. But Virginia will do it. They will do it anyway. They'll do it even if they know the Supreme Court's getting ready to hear a case.
Look, they're going to pass everything and be like, I'm going to make you sue us into compliance.
That's absolutely correct. This is what's getting ready to happen. Now, keep in mind, what we're projecting for Virginia is what they want for you at the federal level. We'll go to New York shortly because Mamdani is going to lead the charge on gun control. That now that the Democrats apparently
have not moved gun control,
have just moved all the way over to commie. They're just admitted it. Okay. Again, when you don't talk about him being a communist, or what did Schumer say? I'm trying to think from yesterday. He made a comment about, I voted. He didn't say anything about Mondime. He just said, I voted. Okay. He won't come out and say, I'm not voting for a communist. Not going to do that. He won't do it. Which means, well, I'm okay. We got a Democrat. Now, the Democrats care more about their control and their agenda than they do their constituents in the U.S. Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. But you will see an assault weapon ban. That is going to happen. The question becomes, what are they going to determine is an assault weapon? pretty much anything they want. We've already seen the lists. They're already trying to tell you that Charlie Kirk Assassin's bolt-action rifle is an assault weapon. CCR-KBA's already got a report out on that, and they will have the full support of the mainstream media behind them. You will see magazine capacity limitations. No question about it. Virginia, you're in a quandary. You're in a world of hurt. I feel bad for a lot of my friends that live there that know this is coming. Cam Edwards is one of them. We'll be talking with Cam about this on Sunday, by the way, for the hour from 9 o'clock, hour 2. Coming up on Sunday's broadcast, we'll have Cam with us. An expansion of red flag laws in the state of Virginia is going to happen. This is what they're going to be working on. They've probably already got it written out. In fact, I guarantee they already do. They know what they want to do. They will have a ton of money behind them. Every town for gun safety. Bloomberg will be dumping a bunch of money, but he's not going to have to dump as much as he would have before because it's now not throwing good money at bad money. Whatever they send in there now, they know they're going to get results with, Greg. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's going to go their way.
It's going their way. That's exactly right. Go ahead.
It's momentum for Democrats across the country as well because they're taking the momentum because a bunch of brain-dead idiots out here in the country don't realize that Democrats win in Democrat states. It's just that way. And Glenn Youngkin was termed out. It is what it is. And there's an election that has to be won again. And unfortunately, their lieutenant governor was a weak candidate.
You talking about Winsome Sears?
Yeah.
I have my thoughts on Winsome Sears. I like her a lot from a Second Amendment position.
Too.
She was stand out and stand up when it came to gun rights. But Trump did not support her. Oddly, I thought. Guys, Greg and I were talking about this during the break. Here's the deal. Again, we go back to what is. You had Spanberger and you had Sears. That's what you had. That was it. Which one are you going to support?
I 100% believe that the all of these elections that were held Tuesday were all some way rigged because there were no lawyers in there. There was no Trump candidate or Trump at all on any of the ballots. So they didn't want to have the legal protection of having lawyers standing by to be able to sue or do anything for when the Democrats pulled shenanigans because they probably did. And so this is the outcome of that. There's no Trump on the ballot. There's no money in on the lawyers to protect the.
Well, now hold on. See, all of the mainstream media wants to tell you that all of this was a referendum on Trump. This was Democrats voting in Democrat areas. And of course, it's a referendum on Trump when it comes to Democrats because all Democrats hate Trump. There's nothing shocking about any of this. I'm not going to go as far as saying anything was rigged in Virginia. I have no way to prove any of that. They lost. And now they reap in Virginia what they sow. So far, we've gone through an assault weapons ban, that's coming. Magazine capacity limitations, that's coming. An expansion of red flag laws, that's coming. Now, when you say expand red flag laws, here's the break. When we come back, we'll tell you what we mean by expanding red flag laws in a place that already has red flag laws. What does that mean? Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues right after the break. 2 more segments. We'll see how much we can get to. We'll definitely get through all of the conversation about Virginia without a doubt. Stick around. We'll be back on the flip side of the break. Don't go away.
Woo! And
Cameras are. The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, that's something that you need to do. If you live in Virginia now, ladies and gentlemen, you really need to do that, okay? Now, the NRA's taking a little bit of heat right now. Did they do enough, for the Virginia elections? I don't know. I don't live in Virginia. I can't tell you. I can only tell you that I know the efforts that they put out. And I'd like to say at this point, I don't know if anybody did enough in Virginia, to be honest with you. I don't know that you could overcome the Trump hatred, which we all expected was going to be, the Democrats are going to come out and vote because of their hatred for Trump. TDS is very real, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're not aware of that. But right now, you can get in the fight with this. Justin Davis put a tweet out yesterday, copied me in on that. We went back and forth and retweeted this thing, and it was interesting. There's about 20,000 people were all over this thing. Guys, I want you to take a look at it. Just check out the NRA on Twitter, but nonetheless, it's nra.org/AAR. You can join. We're going to give you some cool free stuff to do it. Now's a really good time to do it and save you some money. Really, if you really want to get in and save some money and get your money back, actually, we're going to save you $10. It's $35 for a 1-year membership. You can join or renew. We're going to send you a range bag. So that's a great deal right there. And the 3-year membership also get a range bag. That's $85. That's down $15 from $100. So we're going to save you some money on both of those. We're going to send you the free range bag. We really do need you in the fight. If you live in Virginia and you're not an NRA member, you really need to be, because where's the NRA based? On Waples Mill Road in Virginia. And they're going to be fighting, guys, and they're going to be fighting what we're talking about here. So by all means, join the National Rifle Association. Please, we need your help over there, nra.org/AAR. As we said, you're fitting to see what the Democrats want for you nationwide. You might as well get a jump on the midterms coming up quick too, guys, believe it or not. This next year is going to fly right by. It always does. So take advantage of these great opportunities we're offering you over at the National Rifle Association, nra.org/AAR. Back over to some of what we've seen. We've covered the assault weapons ban from the Democrats. That's coming. Magazine capacity limitations. That's coming. An expansion of red flag laws. And as I mentioned in the previous segment, how do you expand the red flag in a state that has red flags? Well, you make it easier for other people to make an accusation against somebody. So you expand who can say that guy's nuts and shouldn't have a gun, even to someone who might not even know you, just because they heard something.
Yeah, you could have an altercation in public, someone follow you out to your vehicle and get your vehicle information and then red flag you with law enforcement.
It depends. It depends on how much they expand it to. Who can make that? So if someone complains to a cop and a cop is listed, absolutely that can happen. So they're going to expand red flag laws, which means more confiscation in the state of Georgia. And that's what the Democrats want. Ask yourself why they want an expansion, why they want red flag laws to begin with. Because red flag laws result in taking someone's guns and leaving the person there. He's so dangerous he can't have his guns, but he's okay to be walking around. As long as he's not walking around with guns, it's okay to put him around any other type of weapon, including an automobile, but not guns. No, can't do that. It's pure confiscation, ladies and gentlemen, and you know that, so they want to expand that. That's what's getting ready to happen in Virginia. These things that we're talking about are basically foregone conclusions, guys. A permit to purchase firearms/ammunition. You're going to see Virginia go the FOID card way. That is absolutely being expected in Virginia now. A FOID card, firearms owner ID card, in order to buy a gun in the state of Virginia. And that includes ammunition as well. More restrictions, more infringements. Again, let me read my arm. A well-regulated militia. That's you, ladies and gentlemen, being in good, sound, working order and well-trained. Being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed as long as you have a FOID card. Oh, wait, that's not on there.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
Oh, we come back with Beto O'Rourke. There we go. Did I get that clown's name right? I forgot all about him.
Beta
male, Beta
Robert
Democrat. Robert Francis Beta O'Rourke. So a permit to purchase firearms, look at that as the firearms owner ID card. You see those in blue states across the country, most famously Illinois and others. A revamping of universal background checks. What does that mean? What's a universal background check?
Well, hit you on your private sales.
Well, and here's why. Because that was just defeated in Virginia. Now they're going to try to revamp it. They're going to try to rebuild it, remake it, reword it. It's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're going to do. A waiting period for firearm purchases. This is all on the table. How do we know this? As the writer of the release from VCDL puts it, am I a soothsayer? No. The prediction simply mirrors exactly what happened in 2020 and 2021. This is not pie in the sky. We think the Democrats are going to do this. We know they're going to do it because they've already done it. Now they're going to do it with a bigger lead, controlling everything. Both sides of the state house, folks, it's coming. They've already done it. Failed at some. Now they're likely not going to. What's the waiting period for firearm purchases? Who knows? 7 days? 10 days? Let's look at the playbook in California. They'll shoot for 30, Greg.
They'll go as long as they can get.
It was whatever they can get, they're going to do.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, think about it.
Well, you're getting hit big time right now. You're a little choppy, but we can still make out what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess the NSA doesn't like what we're talking about here today.
That's correct.
Yeah, they are based up in Virginia, too, if I'm not mistaken.
A bunch of traders up in them counties surrounding the district.
Interesting? It happens sometimes when we talk about some of these topics. A prohibition on young adults owning firearms. 18 to 20-year-olds. Prohibited. Adults. You can get married. You can go to war. You can come home from war. Damaged. Hurt. Missing limbs. Quadriplegic. You can risk your life. But you can't own a gun. Prohibition on young adults owning firearms. Guys, if they could make it up to 25 years old or 30 years old, they would do that. They can't, but they certainly would try. Here's what else they're going to do. More restrictions on where you can carry. Think, sensitive places. Think taking pages out of the playbook of Hochul in Jersey, in California. Let's just make everything a sensitive place, Greg.
Alexandria, Prince George's County, all of those are going to be entire sensitive zones.
You can't come anywhere near. You can't come within 100 miles of D.C. Everywhere 100 miles into Virginia, outside of D.C., they're going to designate I'm just giving you
it's going to be Richmond.
You're going to have to be around Richmond, Virginia. But they will try to make everything they can a sensitive place to ban you from carrying your guns because they can't stop you. They will try to ban you. Remember Terry McAuliffe, right? And go back to the permit issue that we had in Virginia. It had to be negotiated away, but there was a different makeup. And that was, Virginia was able to, with Terry McAuliffe, was to bring back reciprocity that he had wiped out single-handedly. They were able to fix that problem. We're going back a few years. I'm going on memory on that one. But nonetheless, they're going to play these games, but they're going to try to restrict, and they'll make it illegal wherever they can get away with it. A weakening of reciprocity with other states. They tried that under McAuliffe. It didn't work too well for them, but they're going to try it again. These are all things they've already done. Nothing here is new. And more roadblocks to getting your concealed handgun permit in the state of Virginia. We know all of this is coming. So with the final remaining seconds that we have here, what do we do here when you're facing this, Greg? How do you know this is coming? You know they're in control. Do you sit back and go, well, just take it? No. You fight back. But how do you fight back when you don't have that power, that political power in the state? When we come back, we'll tell you a little bit about how VCDL expects to fight back. And yes, you can probably guess that the courts will be involved, no doubt about it. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense will come back. We have one more segment to go. We'll stay on Virginia until as long as it takes. We probably are not going to have enough time to get through it all today, but nonetheless, we'll do the best we can. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues right after the break. Please visit all of our great partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, attorneysonretainer.us, attorneysonretainer.us. One more time, attorneysonretainer.us. Please take advantage of this amazing offer from Attorneys on Retainer. If you carry a gun, please put a team of lawyers in your hip pocket with you, would you please? It's an absolute no-brainer. If you carry a gun, you already know something bad can happen. And if it can happen, well, let's talk Virginia for a minute. How about that, huh? Yeah. Democrats in control. That doesn't mean your local DA is, but honest to goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you had better be thinking about these things if you carry a firearm. They will try to throw the book at you for defending yourself. And if they do, that's not the time you want to be looking for a lawyer. You should already have one. Yeah, well, look at Daniel. That's a great point. All right, there's countless examples we could give. These individuals go broke, ladies and gentlemen. Attorneys are incredibly expensive. Incredibly expensive. Good ones. Even bad ones are expensive, folks. It's that simple. And what I can tell you is you don't want a free one. Not when your life's on the line, your financial future's on the line, your family being without you because you're locked up for defending yourself or your family. You don't want a bad attorney. And Attorneys on Retainer is going to bring you up to 4 attorneys, including yours, in the state. It's all $35 a month, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of where you live. So just do this. If you've been on the fence about this, again, I tell you every day, just get off the fence and do it, okay? This is one of those things I know you're thinking about it. Just do it. Just say, you know what? I need to just go and do it. It's real simple. Attorneysonretainer.us. Use the promo code AAR. Get $50 off the sign-up fee. $35 a month. And if you bring your family in like I did, it's $25 a month. And you still save the $50 off the sign-up fee, okay? So please, just take advantage of these amazing sponsors. We've got the best group of sponsors we've ever had. You can visit them all, including Bud's Gun Shop, by the way. Still working on what we're going to do, which location we're going to go to, but we are going to be broadcasting from Bud's Gun Shop. They're our exclusive online retailer. Support all of our businesses that support the program. budsgunshop.com. They have everything you need. Pick up another box of ammo. Have enough? Buy one more. You really never have enough, right? Need a new gun? Bud's Gun Shop. It's really simple to do. They serve over 5 million customers, ladies and gentlemen, because they're the real deal. budsgunshop.com. Make sure to check them out. Crossbreed Holsters is another one. Car Arms is another one. Okay? And we'll be telling you a little bit about one of our newer partners tomorrow when I have some more information from the owner and all kinds of fun stuff going on. So make sure to visit armedamericanradio.com, armedamericanradio.com, and support them all. Click on them. Visit them. Join the NRA. All that fun stuff that's available for you. It doesn't cost you a lot of money, and your head's in the game with us, okay? Welcome back. Let's bring that camera back up for you. Sorry about that. All right, Greg. So we're going to go back to this because, yet again, lo and behold, here we are. And I read some of these articles about blue wave in Virginia coming from the Virginia Mercury. Blue wave rebuilds the House. Democrats soar to at least 64 seats in Virginia. Blah, 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 blah. That's how you know, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that they're just full of crap. Because that is pretty much... none of this was unexpected. I don't think we expected to lose as many delegates in Virginia. We, Virginians, didn't, but nonetheless. So we go back to this list, more restrictions on where you can carry. And as Greg and I were talking during the break, I want to go back and revisit that a little bit. That's an important one because they are going to take a page out of the playbook of Hochul and everything else. If there's one weak one on here that I don't think they'll be successful on, and this is just an educated guess, it would be the reciprocity angle, trying to weaken reciprocity with other states. Now, they've already tried that before, and it failed. That doesn't mean they're not going to try it again. But I think if there's anyone on here that's a weak link, that might be it. So now you find yourself in Jersey's position. Whew! Success is defined by how few sucky things happen. That's not success. And the final one, of course, was more roadblocks to getting a CHP or concealed handgun permit. I did want to revisit that. I think if anything's weak on there, it's the weakening of reciprocity. But they're likely going to try. They'll likely try. They'll likely fail, but they're going to try. So what do you do? How do you fight back? What are some of the options that VCDL is looking at here? Lobby Day is on January 9th, 2026. And that starts at 8 o'clock. And if you remember in 2020, Greg, and you and I were doing this at the time, there were over 50,000 people that showed up on the streets outside the Capitol grounds. You remember that?
I do.
It was interesting because the media tried to downplay it and said, there was less than 10. okay. There was over 50, ladies and gentlemen. When the media tells you something, you know you can't believe it. It's all garbage. They're lying to you. Over 50,000 gun owners showed up for the largest gun rights rally in American history. That's what that was. I would have loved to have been there. I know a lot of people that were there talking. Was invited, couldn't make it. But this one, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Greg. I'm going to say this one's going to be bigger.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I think it's going to be bigger. Now, I'll quote from VCDL. While that show of solidarity by gun owners didn't stop all the gun control bills from passing, it certainly stopped an assault weapon ban that year, and it toned down many of the gun control bills that passed. Now, here we go back to that equation, right? Many of the gun control bills that passed, they were toned down, but they passed. And this gets into that, that area of, again, Jerseyites have been saying this. Californians have been saying this for a long time. No, well, we had a pretty good year in the legislature. Only 5 anti-gun bills passed, and there were 8 on the table. So we were able to stop 3. That's not a victory, ladies and gentlemen. That's just less of a defeat, but it's still a defeat, okay? I hate to tell it the way, but it is what it is. This is getting ready to happen in the state of Virginia. Number 2, reinforce the Second Amendment sanctuary movement from 2019. Now, Greg, you might remember this one as well, but Virginia was wildly successful with their Second Amendment sanctuary movement. 95% of Virginia localities supported Second Amendment sanctuary status in their counties. You remember that?
I do.
I think there were only 3. If I can remember this correctly, without going back and looking, only about 4 or 5 counties that did not move completely forward with the 2A sanctuary status. So what VCDL is going to try to do here, and they're going to work very hard at it. I know the people that run it, and they are just the best. But getting local governments to repledge their support for being sanctuaries and not enforce unconstitutional restrictions on the right to keep and bear arms. Who's the most important person in that realm, in that arena? That's the sheriff. And Commonwealth attorneys to not enforce such unconstitutional laws.
Yeah, but you can't rely on them to not enforce this stuff.
You can't, but what you can do is pressure. Again, they're coming at this having been defeated. This is what they have to do. Now, they're going to be talking more about that. I would highly encourage you to go to vcdl.org, ladies and gentlemen, and get on this email list to keep track of what's going on there, because what they're doing in Virginia is the fight that you might be up against if this were to happen at the federal level. And, of course, the courts. They're going to fight unconstitutional laws in court as their budget allows. And VCDL reminds us that they've won several times in court over just the last couple of years, but it's expensive and can take years for a ruling. But they can fight back successfully. And some of their, by the way, the Virginia Citizens Defense Foundation, the VCDF, to help cover those costs, is tax deductible for you. And, of course, a growth in membership. Right now, the membership is currently 11,000 dues-paying members. But get this, there's over 61,000 of people on the Virginia alert list. So we need all of those people to join. It's only $25 a year. Have you joined yet? I did. Join them. They need your help. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy what's left of your day. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Thanks for being here, guys.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you mañana. We'll have a lot to cover tomorrow as well. A lot that we didn't get to today. We never do. We don't have enough time in the day to do it. But nonetheless, we're going to be right back at it tomorrow because they don't want us to. So enjoy your day. Stay safe. Carry on, carry off, and carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside his cave without his club. Don't you be that caveman that decided I don't want to carry my club today because it isn't going to happen to me. It can. And by the way, if it does, put this card in your wallet. attorneysonretainer.us. It's just the thing you need to do. I feel so much better knowing that I have that, and my kids and my wife as well. All right, guys, enjoy your day. Stay safe. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.